Hey, Dana, and welcome to my garage. What I'm in the process of doing is changing out my gauges. We got some issues going on here, and I need to pull it. So, what you're gonna need to do, you got to pull your trim here. That's got two number 8s going up. Okay. Then you have to come over then you have to pull your light switch handle off, and it's got a little squeeze. I don't think you're gonna be able to see it. I don't know if I can get light in there. There you go. You got this little squeeze thing. So as you're looking at it, you got to pull it. You got to get a little screwdriver in there and push that back towards here. Okay, so you're gonna pull it this way to get that little sucker to release. Now when you got to put it back on, it's just going to lock when you shove it on, because you got the flat section up here, and it's going to go in like that. Okay. Yes, we are obsolete. This is all obsolete now. So, but this is a classic car. Now she's so it takes care of that. Now you got these, which are, I believe, 8s. Yep. Got four of these that have got to come off. A two-handed stay here. All right, now that we pulled those 4 screws, also you could use a T20 on them if you don't have an 8. We're gonna pull this out. We're gonna disconnect the back. Okay, you can see the back. Right now there's 2 plugs back here we gotta undo. Here we are. So this is what we got. Not seeing. Well, I don't know. That could be burnt. I don't know if that's just the way that is or not, but it might be going to the tack, because I don't have a tack. No tack is working, and my temperature gauge is not working. And I'm not getting any dummy alert gauges down below, and the odometer is not working. So that's what we got right now. That's how you get that out. Looking in here to sure I didn't have any mice or anything eating in here or any of the wires. So what we're doing, I'm taking this out of my 97 and swapping. And unfortunately, these do have T20s. They don't have that combination like the other one did. So, gotta get your T20, pull those screws out. Same scenario with your headlights. Gotta pull that back, pull that little clip back, and just pull it out. And of course, these are T20s too. New year, change in design. Just like the other one, you got 2 plugs. When you lay it down, you can just go ahead and pop them out. Alright, so as we're looking at this, I don't see any gray spots in here. So hopefully that's the only problems. Let's get it in and find out. Okay, she is in. I haven't bolted anything in, I just got it plugged in. Let's see what we got. Alright, I got all my ABS lights, I got my airbag and stuff. Start her up, see what we got. We didn't have tack. Fuel gauge is working. I'll see if oil. Hopefully the temperature gauge will work too. There we go, we have a tack. Airbag, ABS, those should go out in a second. Well, I don't know. I might have an ABS issue with this. Okay, but we do have a tach now. We do have an oil and our amp meter. So I'll wait and see if we get some temperature. I'm going to check the transmission fluid on that too. Stay tuned. Alright. When I pull the temperature sensor, the cooling fan just kicked in. Now it'll go back out. It's telling me this is now working. So I'll pull that. Like this is for gauge, for the gauge only. Maybe that's fine. But this is what I did not have earlier. Alright. Sweet. Whoops. I've got lights on too. Alright. Alright. All because of the gauge system. Let me see what else we got here. I gotta check transmission fluid. Well, unfortunately, bad news. I'm not getting any engine temperature, which means the ECM cannot read what the temperature of the engine is and control what it needs to control. Alright, stay tuned. And we're back. This is troubleshooting why I do not have a response from the temperature sensor on my dash. Well, come to find out, we've got two different years. Well, after troubleshooting, come to find out, I checked with these, and there's grounds going on here. And on this one here, we're missing a ground. So, to make a long story short, if you look in here, we were matching here. Give me some light here. Okay. We're matching primary plugs here. What I'm looking for is the ground, or I'm looking for that one there, which is a yellow with a orange stripe. Well, if you come to your primary here, there it is. You see it? It's in between the purple one and that green and red stripe. So if you take that one's the second wire over, and we go through here, and then we look in here, you're going to see it. Okay, I'm going to get my thumb maybe in there. Okay, see that? See that one now? You can see right here. That's that green and red. The next one to it, right here, this would dust it. That one right there is the one we're looking for. It is the yellow with an orange stripe. Then the next one over is going to the one behind it, and that is a, like a brown, or gray or white, gray or white one. Okay, so what we got in this little group of plugs here, we have a total of 5, right? So if we go down here and match that little group, which I can see my finger here, get that out for a minute. This is this little group right here, right in here. Oh, you're gonna see this little section right here. These right here, I'll put my hands over them. As you can see, you have 1. You're missing 1. You've got 1. You're missing 1. You've got 1 and 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4 plugs. Or 4 pinholes, right? Back over here. In this little group right here, you have a total of 5. So remember you saw those? That one was missing. But yet the other 3 aren't. Why? Okay. You've got as you can see, back here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That first one's missing. You got, and then you got 2. You have 1, 2, 3 on that bottom one, right? So if you go in down in here, you're gonna see you have that one. You were missing that one, and now you got this one. But now you go over here, you're missing a pinhole. And then you've got one, and then you got another one, all right? So you jump back in here, and we find that it is that middle, this middle one right here. Okay, you see the middle one? Now if we flip up, that is the second one over. And guess what? Here's the one you see, and that's the one you don't see. So, and guess what? You know why? Because this is a 97 motor with the 97 harness. This is a 96 with the 96 harness. And the way I found that out was I got into the schematic. And I was tracing. This is your typical engine warning system. And as you're looking here, let's see if I can get it back in here. There's your tachometer, oil pressure, voltmeter. Now you run into your temperature gauge and your fuel gauge. And you come down, you're following these down, and they ground. Or should I say, these go through that plug. So we're looking for a black and white, but we're also looking for an orange and yellow one. Because your black and white, which is on the other side of your engine temperature gauge, is a red and white. So this is grounding because this screws into your coolant temperature sensor, screws into your block. So that's already grounded, right? So now you got your black and white, which I still haven't found yet, which I guess is going on the other side of that plug, which is what is missing. That ground, okay? So that comes up, and that's what that's grounding to, is your orange and yellow wire going into that plug. So what did I do? I went ahead and grounded it. And how did I do that? I took a wire and I went right inside there, like so. So I technically I just plugged into that. And then I ran it around to, what I was doing is making sure I had polarity in that wire to make sure that wire was the right one. That's what I was doing. So you're right here, you're watching that. So now we want again, we're looking at our orange red wire on the back side of that green and red wire, right? That second one in. So as you come in, you're going to stay right with it, right? And you're going to come right in here, and it's the second. This is the second wire in here, which is right here. And the minute I play with that, touch that wire, there's the ohms. So I know that's the correct one, right? And then, again, we go to the second. We go to that second wire in here, right here. Second wire in. Yeah. Second wire in, right here. And it's missing a pin. No pin. Alright. So, and then you go on, and on this side you can see, knowing we have the right one. Why have I got that still on? Get off of that. And again, how I know it's the right one, because you have your two wires here on. No, wait a minute, I'm over here. Because you got your two wires, you got your 1, 2 right here, okay? Oh, wait a minute. White menace. Alright. You got your 2 pins, 1, 2. Then you got 3, 4, 5. We have 2 pins, 1, 2, and then 3, 4. Because those are the first, those are the back ones that are missed. Right. Which is those? 1, 2. One, 2. And we're skipping 1, 2. It's actually got a third plug. 1, 2. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got 3 in there. It's missing that first one. It's missing that second one. So I got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm looking for the wrong one here. Wish there was a better way to fucking figure this out. What's I'm missing? Oh, God. Yeah, okay. Okay. Alright. Let's go back here. Again. This group right here. 1. Missing 1, got 1. Missing 1, got 1. Okay. You got two in the front, right? And then you got 2 in the back, but you're missing 1. Okay, there's a total of 4. And we have 5 in our little click here. So, as we can pull bag out, and we are looking right in here. You have your little two front ones, right? And that's your 2 front ones, 1, 2. And now you have the back ones. And then you have this one. Oh my. Okay, you got this one here. And then you got this front one here. But you're missing the middle one. See? So if you go back down in here, which you're now on the back side. That's what keeps screwing me up. So now you're on the back side right here. Back side. Back one. You got one here. You're missing here, which is that orange and yellow, orange and yellow one, and then you have that pin there. So this is why we do not have a ground. So that solves my mystery. Might be able to jump on the, maybe able to look at the 97 real quick. Well, I thought we'd be able to see it, but we can't because I got the board. It's being supporting the tranny on this one, but kind of bites. Okay, so we couldn't see it on the 97, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to tighten this back up, and then we'll go ahead and look at the gauge as I've got it grounded. I've got to figure out what I can use for that ground. I'm thinking I might be able to ground it right to the other, right to that one's ground, and we should be all right. We'll see. Okay, so I pulled this from this thermostat. This is controlling your fan system for your, basically for your AC system. So when you know, I got these hooked up with my tester. My green light comes on, it means I'm grounded. This means I got nothing. Okay, there's a little bit of something, but so we're ground there. So if I hit this one now, going on there now? I'm grounded. That makes no sense. Alright, I couldn't figure out why it wasn't. I was getting the ground. I'm not getting the ground now because it's not plugged in. That this has got a grounding effect to it. So that's why. So let's go ahead and I'm probably going to go ahead and ground that out and ground it to this puppy here, which is the gray and red one is a ground. Alright, stay tuned. Alright, excuse the ding 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 for a minute. Whoa. Wow, that shook us. Yeah, we got wow, okay. All kinds of noises right now. Okay, so engine's fairly warm. It's not super warm. But as you can see, the gauge is dead. Nothing's going on. Nothing's going on with the gauge. Now we'll go ahead and I'm going to ground that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that. You see my wires up in there? I'm going to go ahead and ground it. What I should see is my gauge in here start to move. No. Like I said, there you go. She's up there. She's still climbing, but of course the engine's getting warm. So we watch that. We watch that climb up to normal. My normal is between the frickin' A and the L. It shouldn't go any higher than it is right now, but it does. And between the 97 and the 96 sensor, it only has one plug, where this one has, well, one wire, should I say, where this has two wires, and one of those wires is not connected. So without it being able to ground out, we're not going to have this. But what you want to make sure is that your fan will kick on when it gets to a certain temperature. In this case, my fan comes on between the L and the line, right in the middle. So it is functioning like it should. I also grounded, take the plug off the dryer for your AC. And then if you ground them out together, that fan should kick on. And I'm starting to talk over the rain. I'm sorry for all the noise of the rain and stuff like that, but this is where she sits normal. I don't know if I can get her hot enough to set the fans off, but I know it works. So this is coming, again, this is coming out of my 97, so I know where the gauge temperature normally is, and that's where normal is. Okay, looking a little further back, you see everything there is normal. Now this gauge set came out of the 97 because her tack wasn't working, and neither was her odometer. So I decided to swap out with her for now until I get that 4.6 in there. It'll sound good with my exhaust on here. I got to get into there because it's not seated right. Again, what I already did, I made sure that when I got in between those two, I got a response out of the fan. Okay. This is your engine temperature sensor, not your temperature sending unit to your gauge. So the minute I pull this, the fan's going to kick on. That's normal. You want that to happen. Plug that back in. You shut that down. Alright. Another thing you want to check, and this is the reason the AC is not working, because there's no fluid in the system. I know Freon. What you want to do is take your plug, get it off there. Alright, so now that you got that plug out of your dryer, I've got these pins that I use to pull out pins, and then I use them as jumpers. So if you touch these two together, oh, I gotta turn the AC on. Okay, we gotta turn the AC on. Now, this will tell you, this will get your AC system running. Okay, now the compressor's going and the fan system is running. Normally when you turn the AC switch on, it will activate the AC system through that pressure switch. But there isn't any in it, and by overriding it, you'll be able to service it, make the compressor run. What you need to do is get your initial Freon into your system. You got a new one. It's running. Alright, we'll kick that out for now. Then I'll shut down here in a second. We'll probably check that. Alright, fan is shut down. We'll turn the AC system on. That's it. That's where she's running, and she's running normal. I've just got it grounded right, the battery itself. So I'm going to go ahead and get it spliced into that one. Okay, so gauge is dead right now. Everything on. And what I did is I cleaned off some of the wiring. The wiring on that ground was still connected to that orange and yellow. And then I clipped it there. And as you can see, we now have a gauge. So that's what I'll get that permanently connected to it. And the other yellow, this one here is obsolete. There's nothing there. I might even cut down there and get a piece of that and then bring it across, because this motor's never coming back out of this vehicle, so never going back into the other one. But that, unfortunately, that's what we got, because we went 1 year from a 97 and putting it in a 96. The 97 again, or 96 motor, only has a one wire coming out of it. In fact, I pulled it out. It's right here. It's only got one wire. And then it's designed to ground off the block. So that's the way that works. So, but other than that, fan works fine when it gets to a certain temperature. ECM or ECU, whichever one you want to go with it, the engine control unit, is monitoring. So it's monitoring through that one there. This is strictly your gauge temperature sensor. Alright, so it takes care of that. I just gotta put some stuff back together and we'll be done. Okay, I believe we're done. I did with that cleanup area, I took that and I spliced that, wrapped it around that, and then used liquid tape to seal that in. And I brought it across, and I got one of those. You've seen them before. You put one in one side, one in the other, and then crimp it together. And that should take care of that. Let's go to the dash. I already checked it earlier with the, make sure I had ground, and there we go. We now have a gauge. And now we know why. Now we know why I wasn't getting any, because the harnesses are different in that aspect. I don't know what other things are different, but I guess I'm going to find out along the way. But that was troubleshooting that. And that was why I did not have a temperature gauge functioning. But I did have this functioning to run the fans when the temperature got to a certain temperature. And again, that's strictly your gauge on your dash, and that runs your engine temperature through your EC engine control unit. And then we have our plug that goes in our dryer here for the AC. Alright, I'm not going about that right now. I'll get in there. And I gotta service this up, and then go from there. See what our problems are. All right, there we go. I gotta get my cover back on here. All right, we'll worry about that later. All right, thanks for watching. If you like, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, definitely share. And stay tuned for more Project Stang. Come on. God, ready. These boots. You have big feet.